An obvious sign that the NBA is going soft. I'm Tony, welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
See me working, please leave me alone. Bases loaded, I'm sending them home. Too real, I can never pretend. This is something they can never forget. Hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after.
Today we're talking about an altercation that happened in a first round playoff game in 2024 between the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks, wherein Patrick Beverly got into an altercation with some fans or reporters that were near the Milwaukee Bucks bench. They apparently were talking trash to him and he threw the basketball back and forth at them. ESPN reported that police were going to investigate that situation to get more details as to what was going on. When I saw that report, my reaction to it was, what is the investigation for? There doesn't need to be any investigation. All of it was kind of caught on tape. The only thing that's missing is like what was the audio, what was actually said between the fans and Patrick Beverly. So let's talk about that altercation and why I think the NBA's reaction to it is a sign that the NBA is going soft. I have two major takeaways from this situation. So first it is the circumstantial sort of context that needs to be kept in mind when it came to this altercation. The context being, let's not forget who Patrick Beverly is, where he is, what he's doing. So Patrick Beverly is a professional entertainer. Let's not forget that all major sports in America are all just professional entertainment. Patrick Beverly is a professional entertainer, and it just so happens that his entertainment happens to be that he's going to try to entertain us by trying to win basketball games. And in this environment, it's the NBA playoffs. It is the most competitive basketball against the best, most other competitive players on the planet. So when you're in that kind of competition, it is expected that you are going to be very competitive and thus aggressive. Your mindset, your mind state, your state of mind is going to be very aggressive in that environment. Just to begin with, just in general, it has to be, it needs to be. So you have Patrick Beverly just trying to do his job, and his job just happens to include the fact that he's being competitive and thus super aggressive in that environment. And then you have fans off to the side who are apparently screaming at him. Imagine you trying to do your job and you're just trying to get through your day, you're just trying to do your job to the best of your ability, and then someone comes in and starts screaming at you. And I'm assuming they're screaming at him because, like, if they were just engaging in like standard average, lighthearted trash talk, like, oh, Patrick Beverly, you suck, and all that kind of stuff, like, NBA players, professional entertainers, athletes, they're like immune to that. Like halfway through your rookie season, you must become immune to that standard cliche, trash talk that you hear all the time. So either what they were saying, the context of it was either super disrespectful and or they were like screaming at him, being super aggressive. And if anybody, if like you're at the grocery store and someone comes up to you and is being super aggressive at you, let alone like screaming at you, it's just human nature to react in an aggressive manner back at them, if for no other reason to like protect yourself from their aggression. So that's the context that I want the NBA and everybody else to keep in mind, who are like, oh, good for Patrick Beverly, he deserves the 4-game suspension that he got. My thing is like, in that environment, who he is, doing what he's supposed to be doing in the mindset that he's in, I don't blame him for being aggressive back to these fans or those reporters or whoever it was right there behind his bench. I don't blame him for having that kind of reaction. I'm also assuming that they started it because why would Patrick Beverly start with them when he's trying to do his job in an NBA playoff game? So not only did they start it, and then Patrick Beverly reacts the way he does, in the end is there was no injuries. There was no injuries reported. So essentially what happened, the context of it is they started talking crazy to him. He has his reaction. There's no injuries that takes place. At that point, the altercation is over. I don't see why he needs to be suspended for 4 games. That's way too harsh of a penalty in my opinion. I get that he has a reputation and a past for, kind of hijinks and all that kind of stuff. He has a bad reputation that led to him getting those 4 games, but I still think that's too much. And then just in general, like societally, culturally, it's my opinion that like if you're an adult and you start talking crazy to another adult in whatever circumstance and situation, atmosphere, environment, you should not be allowed to just talk crazy to another adult and there be no repercussions, no consequences to doing so. I get it that like ideally Patrick Beverly's reaction would be no reaction, right? He would just like ignore them and pretend like he doesn't hear them, and or he would call security over and have them like removed from courtside. That would be ideal, but I think yet and still his reaction was rational in that irrational situation. And I don't think it's fair of the NBA to like apparently not take that into context. Like he's trying to do what the NBA is asking him to do, which is do his job. And while he's doing that, he's being irrationally screamed at by fans that are like 20 feet away from him while he's trying to do his job, and they don't take that into account and he still gets 4-game suspension. I think that's way too much. And that brings me to my second point when it comes to why I think the NBA is going soft because of this altercation. My second point and problem with this altercation and the NBA going soft is the NBA never seems to side with their players. And I'm assuming the reason that is because the fans are the reason that the NBA is rich. If you're top level NBA, meaning like you're a player, you're a coach, you're on the coaching staff, you're in some kind of front office position, if you're involved in the NBA in those positions, the fans are the reason that those people are rich, that those people are famous. And so why would you ever take your player's side in an altercation against the fans when the fans are the people that pay the bills and make you rich? And especially like specifically in this case with Patrick Beverly, to be in that area of the arena, like right next to the players' benches, those are the people that pay like the crazy amount of money. They're the fans who probably don't just have that 1-game ticket, they probably have season tickets. Season tickets in general are super expensive, but then to be that close to the players on the floor, you know, those are the big money payers. So of course the NBA is not going to side with the players, they're gonna side with the fans who pay the bills. I can't even remember the last time the NBA took a position where they were like, hey, no, the player was in the right here, the fan was wrong. I'm sure it happens, I'm sure it has happened, but in terms of like a big national kind of news story and altercation, I can't even remember the last time the NBA sided with their players. And so it's like, okay, Patrick Beverly, he's got a bad reputation, he kind of earned that 4-game suspension because of all the stuff in his past paired with this altercation. So okay, suspend him for the 4 games, but there was no like message from the, like what I would have liked to seen is, okay, he gets suspended for 4 games, but the NBA also releases a statement that says, yes, what Patrick Beverly was wrong and we have to punish him, we're doing that with this 4-game suspension. However, the fans also need to be held accountable for their behavior as well. Like send some kind of a message to the fans in general that says, hey, you can't act like that, you can't be that irrational and act crazy, talk crazy to another adult person just because you paid to be in the arena. Like we're the NBA, we allow you to be here. When you're here, you can talk trash, you can have fun, it can be lighthearted, but you can't be crazy. You can't talk crazy to our professional athletes. There has to be some modicum of respect when you are in our buildings. Just send that message in situations like that. We're like, hey, yes, the player was wrong for behaving and reacting the way they did, but he was also, let's not forget, he was provoked by your irrationality, grown adult. So at least, you know, hold both sides accountable. Like it's not just the player and it's not just the fans. Like be rational and keep in context of what happens and hold each party accountable. But the NBA doesn't do that. They just side with the fans because the fans make them rich and famous, and I think that is soft. That's my take on the Patrick Beverly altercation and his suspension and why I think the NBA is soft because of it. I get it that people don't like Patrick Beverly and they don't like his bad reputation and all that. I'm not concerned about that. I'm only focusing on this one specific incident and what happened right here in this incident and the context of it. I don't care about his personality. I don't care about his history. I don't care. I don't have an opinion one way or another about Patrick Beverly. I don't know him. I don't know his personality. What I know is this situation was provoked irrationally by the fans, and he acted in a way where it makes sense to me. Like, had there been injuries because of what he did, then that would be a different scenario. But there was no injury. He just reacted to send the message of, hey, don't forget who you are, don't forget who I am, and don't forget the environment in which you're doing this. There was no injuries reported because that was not his intention. Don't forget, he's a master. He's a professional basketball player, a master with the basketball. Had he wanted to injure that civilian with a basketball, he could have easily done that, but he didn't because that was not his intention. He just wanted to send the message of like, hey, relax and leave me alone. And he accomplished that without any injuries. Because of that, I think the suspensions are way too much. I would have liked to seen like a fine and maybe a game suspension at the most, and that's it. I think 4 games is way too much. So let us know down in the comments what you think. Do you think the punishment was too much, not enough? How do you make, what's your take on this situation? What's your take on this situation? Do you think he reacted too rashly, or do you think he should have just walked away and ignored everything? Let us know down in the comments what you think. And if you liked this video, if you found it insightful in any way, then please subscribe to the channel. But before you comment down below, make sure you hit that thanks button, because not only when you hit that thanks button does it highlight your comment and make it stand out from everybody else's comment, but when you hit that thanks button, it also directly supports the channel. So for anyone that does that, know I genuinely appreciate it. As always, like, share, comment like I said. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever any video goes live on this channel. And until then, I'll see you guys next week.
I'm trying to get it like right now, like a running clock with no timeouts. Getting away and it's lights out. Keep messing around and you'll find out. I am the one. I am the one who gon' get it done when the pressure's on. I'm the one who treat it like it's nothing. Got it once, now I'm fiending for more. Don't answer the phone and I'm at your door, cause when I'm ready for war.